everybody. How's it going tonight? Tonight with me, I got Mina.
Hello.
Filia is out for some personal reasons. Everybody keep her in your thoughts and prayers.
Please keep her in your thoughts and your prayers and your positive energy going to her and her family right now.
So joining me tonight as my other co-host is 242 Reads.
Hello.
And our interviewee is Matt's Chat.
You know, your thing on there is wrong. It's not 208 subscribers. It's 209. We just discussed this.
I took a picture of that this morning, okay?
Well, you should have waited to the last minute. I'm joking. Hi, guys.
Right. So, while I'm
well, it
saying
also
hi,
says Matthew interviews, not Matt's chat.
I'm waiting for the new one to be finished.
This is the artwork
Okay.
we have. It will work.
this is what we're working
I was
with.
teasing. Good
All
on
right.
you.
So let's see who's all in the chat.
Hey, Pam.
Hey,
Bam!
Mandy. I scrolled up to the top of the chat. Mandy's here. Hey, Mandy.
Hey, Mandy. Hey,
What's up,
Night
Night
Hunter.
Hunter?
Welcome. Yes, you can stay.
Dark Horse, what's going on, buddy? And my lovely Pam, she's shown up. Thank you for being here, Pam. So what I like to do is I like to have I'll have Matt introduce himself, and while he's doing that, chat, I would like you guys to try to think of some questions to ask Matt while we're also asking him questions. Take it away, Matt.
Matt's going to interview himself.
Yeah, Matthew, introduce yourself.
All right. So, Matthew, why did you get started? So, I got started because I just really want. Well, first I want to say hi, Pam. She always gets special attention from me because she's my neighbor. She won't admit it anymore, but it's true.
Whoa.
Yeah, she lives like 10 minutes away from me. It's weird. No, it's kind of cool though too. Maybe I'll force her under like a narration with me or something. Be her foray into the world of YouTube. Well, I think everybody knows me by now. I'm Matt's Chats. I've been doing this less than 2 months. I reached 209 subscribers because that's wrong. I'm gonna correct it until the end. You know, I gotta say, like, as someone who faces a lot of mental issues in the sound like a whole man. I bet, and that'll be used to our advantage. I promise you, Pam. You know, I'm not. My introduction is gonna be a little weird today, guys. Okay. Usually, I'd go into why I got started, but everyone knows why I got started. I'm gonna hit on something real. I am a man who struggles with mental illness on a day-to-day basis, and we're not talking about light mental illness. We're talking about severe. I have depression. I have anxiety. I have PTSD. ADHD. I have so many things. Like, there's a list. Doing YouTube has brought out the best in me as a person. It has, for once, I don't feel like I'm alone. I have friends. I have people I can call family, and that's great. But taking the time to do these podcast episodes, and divide my time between YouTube, and my family, and work, and college, it's a lot, especially with the illnesses I face on a day-to-day basis. And I think a lot of my illnesses are more mental than physical, but the mentality of it is just so powerful that it feels real, you know? And I just want to say that doing YouTube has brought the best out in me, but it's also a struggle. And if you ever need someone to talk to, there's always someone nearby who supports you and doesn't want to see you quit, wants to see you keep going. So just remember that no matter good or bad, Just keep at it. It's worth it in the long run. There's my introduction. A little bit different than y'all planned.
What are you studying?
I study business administrations.
I'm sorry.
It's very boring, but it's gonna be worth it when I start making money.
Like I said, I'm sorry. I am. That is something that I could not do.
Apparently, a lot of people couldn't.
My dad is an accountant.
Oh boy, yeah, no.
My sister is really, really good in accounting.
Yeah, no.
Suck at accounting. I just learned how to do my own taxes 3 years ago.
To be
I don't
fair,
even know how to
you
do
guys,
my own taxes.
You guys live in the States. It's complicated.
It is.
It is. But I had since my dad's an accountant and he's a CPA, I just sent my stuff to him. But you know, he's 72 now. No, he's 70. He's 70 something now.
I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I'll just pay people to do my taxes. That way I know at least they're done right and my stupid ass couldn't mess them up.
Yeah, H&R Block is a lifesaver.
And H&R Block is like...
I don't use H&R Block. There's actually a family friend that he does taxes, and I started using him, and he's like, it's like $70 compared to to like the $100 and like $80 or $90 HR Block charged me the last time I went.
Ouch.
That's all they charged you?
And that was because I only had standard W-2s. If you have anything more complicated than that, it goes through the roof.
I had to do H&R Block, do mine and my wife's, and it brought it up. And after that, it was like 2 something. But then like we bought the protection plans, and it brought it up to like 500.
Matt,
Jesus.
Yeah.
do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Find someone else.
I don't have anybody else. I live in South Carolina.
I go to H&R Block, but I paid $80.
Well, here's the thing: is my dad has had so many customers come from H&R Block that he's had to go to audit with because of what H&R Block did. So that's why I'm saying, see if you can find somebody else. Jackson Hewitt is even better.
Okay.
Just, you know, my dad, I would recommend him, but he's like in his 70s, and I know that he still has some customers that only trust him.
Mm.
And I don't know if it's that they really trust him or if they like his prices. He charges $50 for the first hour and $35 for the next.
Oh, that's not
It usually
bad.
only takes him an hour to do a tax return. So, I mean, even the most complicated tax return. So, yeah.
That's a skill. That's a skill.
Well, he's been doing it since 1975.
Jeez. This is the year
So-
Queen started.
You just randomly know that. That's awesome. I'm gonna give you get extra awesome points for just randomly knowing that.
You do.
I'm like the biggest Queen fan. I can tell you anything you ever want about Queen.
Dude, you know what's funny that most people don't realize about
I
Queen
don't
is that the
think
fact
I
that they
have
did the
names.
Highlander intro.
That's true.
So people were like, wait, they did
another
what?
kind of magic is the unofficial soundtrack for the first Highlander movie.
It's true.
The whole CD.
Yep. They originally did the
And-
whole CD. Well, that was the original plan, but then the movie company was like, nah, we're gonna go with something different, but we'll keep in this one song.
Actually, they used more than one song. Just saying.
Was it more? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was.
Okay.
It actually is almost. I think there's like only 2 songs on there that aren't used in the movie. And the only reason it's unofficial is because there was some kind of thing between the movie company and the record company, and
Yeah, there's a lot of internal problems.
I think I'm gonna ask Matt a random question. Matt, so I usually ask people what got people in the narrations, but what made you start doing podcasts?
interviews.
Yeah,
like-
interviews.
Well, they're still a form of podcast, but like, what made you get into that one instead of just trying to jump right into the narration game?
Because I didn't think I had the voice for it. You know, I've said this many times, as you know. But
Just heard you say it.
huh? Oh
Nothing.
yeah. Okay. Um, well, because I've always wanted to interview people, and always wanted to have a podcast. So after being sick in bed with my first COVID shot for 3 days, I was like, after that I was like, I'm gonna start doing YouTube. It's what I've always wanted to do. I'm gonna finally give it a shot, and I did. And then when I realized that I didn't like the Q&A form of an interview anymore, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do a podcast where I just bring my guests in and we just sit down and talk about anything and everything for an hour, hour and a half, more if they want. And yeah, I love it, and I'm glad I did it. And then I decided that occasionally I'll upload a narration, but since there's just so much editing to a narration and I'm not good at it, I kind of avoid doing it as much as possible. But um I do enjoy doing it. I know I have the voice for it because you all remind me on a daily basis, hey Matt, you do have the voice for it, you should keep doing it. And
which is why
you
I
guys are
laughed
right.
at what you said.
And
So-
yeah.
So I know me and you got into a conversation the other day in DMs about how Raven dropped a video and you were featured in it.
Yep.
The style of video, as I was listening to it, made me go, Matt has the perfect voice to do like missing person cases or like cold cases. Like you literally, like when you were doing that, like I think it was like a VHS tape, right? You were doing the voice of the VHS tape.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like just telling about I think it was like through the eyes of the person who received it.
Yeah,
something.
but it just gave me like unsolved mysteries vibes, and I'm just like, man, Matt would kill in in like a style of video like that.
The only problem is
Yeah,
you would
we
need a
did.
researcher.
Man, I do a lot of research anyway, but most of my research is on the space, because I really enjoy outer space and the universe and the many hundreds, billions, trillions of planets there are, and the billions of galaxies, and the untold unknown size of the universe that is still growing. And that's where I find my passions. But I think if I was to really put my mind to researching cold cases, I think it would turn out well. The problem is I just don't have the time. The time to. So if someone was to like hand me a script of like, here's a cold case, here's your script, you just gotta read it, then I'd do it. I would do it. Like if they'd agree to edit it and do the research, I would definitely voice it.
Which is why I
So-
said you need a researcher, because I knew that
Yep.
you said you didn't have time this morning in
Yeah.
the other chat to do all the other
Mhm.
stuff.
Right?
Like
So,
I barely have time for my own channel, let alone anything else.
now that I know Matt likes to study space, I gotta know, what are your thoughts on aliens?
I think it's a possibility. With the information that we have currently available and that we currently know, but I gotta say publicly available because obviously NASA knows more than they're going to tell.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Mia used to work for NASA, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So she would know that they definitely do not say as much as they actually know. And
She's in
You
Are
know,
you
with the-
watching the eclipse?
what?
Are you
What was it?
watching the eclipse tonight? Or
No, I'm not watching the eclipse tonight. I'm gonna spend time with my son and spend time with my wife. I don't really go outside and look up at the stars much anymore. Personally, I just don't find the time for it. But with all the information we have available, and as me being a man that likes to exist in the middle and believe in the possibility of many different things, it's not out of the realm of realistic possibility that aliens could exist. I mean, with the US government going on record, holding a press conference, saying that UFOs are real, showing evidence that they are very real, and admitting that while, I mean, they said that they don't know who is exactly driving these UFOs. They do know that they're beyond anything humans are capable of making, and that no human could possibly drive something like that without dying in the cockpit. And saying that they're definitely not from Earth. That's pretty much them saying that aliens exist. The only problem is that we don't know. And do I believe that alien life exists in our solar system? I don't. At least not the little green men or the little humanoids that we think of. Maybe we've already discovered bacterial life on Mars and microbial life on Mars. Do I think that we'd find human-like existence on another planet in our solar system? Doubtful. But that is not to say that our neighboring Andromeda galaxy could, and the other neighboring galaxies very well could, because we can't really see into there. We can't see the planets. And with our closest neighbor, galactic neighbor, being 2.65 billion light years away. And what that means is that if we reach the speed of light, it takes 2.65 billion years to get there at the speed of light. So we'd have to be going so fast to be able to reach a neighboring galaxy.
Which we currently can't do.
Yes, we currently cannot do. We haven't even reached the speed of light yet. We've reached sonic sound. We've reached Mach 4, possibly Mach 5, but I believe Mach 5 is light speed, so I don't think I believe that we have not reached Mach 5, but we have reached close. We've broken the sound barrier many times. I mean, our fighter pilots do it all the time. But reaching Mach 4 is a good step, but light year speed, not possible anytime soon. Probably not possible for another 50, 100 years at most. But that's just, even if we reach light speed, it still takes us 2 billion years to get there. So, but I think if life was to exist in the solar system, I think Mars would be a good candidate, but there are better candidates, because we know that on other planets like Venus, which is one that you can see just about every night of the year. If you look outside, it's always the brightest star in the sky. There are lakes underneath the top layer of ice caps. Mercury's moons as well. So I think if we're gonna find life, it's probably not gonna be humanoid life, but that doesn't mean that animal marine life is out of the realm of possibility, because there is water on other planets. Whether it's water that we can drink or use for life for ourselves, probably not, but for life in those waters, possibly. I've studied a lot.
Oh, yeah. I think being my parents' daughter.
I want to see where this goes.
I think that we would be remiss to believe that we are the only sentient beings in the universe and galaxy.
I agree on universe, because the universe is infinite, truly infinite. And with so many other different galaxies, trillions of galaxies. I mean, Hubble telescope put out a picture a few years ago where we saw like 2 trillion galaxies in just one picture. So to say that we're the only life in the entire universe is a ridiculous thought. And you, as someone who worked at NASA, would agree with me that it's just outside of the realm of possibility. We cannot be. But
the amount of universe one would have to think that we are the only life form in the universe is just ridiculous.
Well, and not only that, but the amount of hubris that we as human beings do have to believe that all life must be like us.
Yes.
And I'm not dissing anybody, guys. I'm just saying, just because we're carbon based doesn't mean everybody else is.
Yeah,
exactly. I want to agree with you that I want to agree with you that we can't be the only carbon-based humanistic life form in our galaxy, in the Milky Way galaxy. I think with what we've discovered so far, it's not possible. I don't think there's any kind of other humanoid life on any of the planets we've currently discovered in our galaxy, but we haven't discovered our full galaxy either. So I think it's a possibility still, but I don't think it's as likely. I think if we're gonna find life in the universe, I don't think it's gonna be in the Milky Way galaxy. And if it is, then they are hiding really goddamn well, or the government is not telling us something.
Well, they've been checking us out for how many thousands of years? And
Yeah.
we missed it for how long?
They're like, we're not hiding. You just guys aren't looking hard enough. Look harder.
Now, Lone Wolf says in the comments, Earth and Mars are the best planets to support life. Agreed. Venus is too hot and poisonous. Not entirely true. Pluto is too cold. But there's still water on the planet, which is what I was saying at the end of my statement, is that even if it's not humanoid life, there is still a possibility of marine life on other planets. Mercury has no atmosphere and no air, but Mercury has water. And the other four are just balls of gas, which is correct. But I also mentioned that the moons, too. We got to remember, each planet has moons. And each moon has different atmospheres and life, too. But a lot of these moons, like I think Mercury's moon, Io, or Encephalus, one of the two, has bodies of water on it, which we do know.
Io.
Is it Io? Okay, yeah. Io has bodies of water on it, which again could support the possibility of marine life. Which is what I was saying. I was trying to say is that humanoid life, not as much of a possibility as marine life may be on other planets. But then again, I would not want to discover the marine life on another planet. I can barely handle looking at our marine life. Imagine something from a different planet. That thing, woo! I am terrified of even the thought. Have you played Subnautica?
I'm just thinking something that's like the size.
I watched my husband play Subnautica.
So I'm just thinking something that's like 10 times the size of like a blue whale.
Yes.
And then like freaking add the Loch Ness monster qualities to that and give it a couple of heads, and you probably got a pretty good idea.
Couple heads, some tentacles, make it like a big Cthulian creature. Yeah, nah, man, I'm good. Let's. I cannot imagine a shark on another planet. I cannot imagine a shark on another planet. That thing would be terrifying.
I saw a shark the other day that actually looks like it has two heads in one. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's a bottom dwelling shark, meaning it's deeper than we can normally go under normal situations. Bogs, yes, you're right. And that brings me back to Star Trek 4.
I don't remember which plot that one was.
I've never seen Star Trek.
Star Trek 4 is the one that they came back to the past to get humpback whales, because the humpback whales needed to answer the call of the aliens who were trying to communicate with them.
Yes, I remember that now.
And we, as humans, had killed them all.
Yeah. I don't think on purpose. I think it was an
accident.
I'd like to mention that Boggs says in the comments, there are a multitude of life forms on this planet alone, which thrive in environments that humanoids cannot come close to. Mm-hmm. That's correct. You know, the thing is that us as humans, we humanoids grew with our planet. We learn how to survive with what was on this planet, which is why we can survive on this planet. But you bring, another humanoid from a different planet on this planet, and it may not survive because its body is not accustomed to it. Now, Lone Wolf says a planet with no atmosphere has no heat control. During the day, the temperature on Mercury is hot enough to melt metal, and at night, the temperature plummets below freezing.
Yes.
Right, but there's still bodies of water on Mercury, which is my point. And actually, it's more methane gas water than actual water, hydrogen water. But there's still the possibility. And
the other side of that is that not all forms of life may not need those things.
Right. Like they may not need, you know,
if you look at the crystalline entity, and yes, I'm going back into Star Trek and science fiction. Go into the crystalline entity. It's a silicon-based crystal. It doesn't need heat control. It doesn't need air.
Now, Lone Wolf says also there are a lot of meteors that hit Mercury regularly. Imagine life forms that are constantly dodging meteor strikes. But see,
we do too.
We do too. We dodge them every day. Meteors hit the Earth. It's a fact.
And also the moon, which is what it's there for.
Right. Which takes a lot of the blunt of what we deal with. But like every single day, NASA gets another warning about some other meteor that's going to hit this planet, whether it's big or small. But they even said that there's 2,000 plus meteors a day that go unnoticed that could hit the Earth. The ones we really pay attention to are the ones that could,
actually,
cause extinction.
Actually cause a problem.
Yeah. We pay attention to the world enders.
Yeah, we pay attention to the world enders, not
no
the
point of paying attention to the little guys that aren't going to do much damage.
Right.
Oh, it's a pebble.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're gonna wipe out New York. No big deal.
Well,
Like,
one that wiped
if
out
we
New York
can-
would, yes. That would be
If
bad.
we can constantly be dodging meteor strikes and build our life around it, why couldn't marine life on another planet do it?
And like, it's like we if you believe it, Big Bang, we evolved with our planet, right? We evolved with our planet. We have adapted to.
We grew into our planet and adapted with it.
So what's saying that humanoids that are born on, say, Mars couldn't have adapted to their planet? They don't have to be just like us.
Like I was saying, I don't think humanoid life is as much of a possibility in our galaxy as marine life would be, because they are planets with bodies of water. And when it comes to Mercury, let's get back to Mercury here a second. And I'm not trying to argue with Lone Wolf. I'm trying to bring the other side to his point out. Mercury is filled with water. Yes, it's more methane than hydrogen, H2O. That's correct. But that does not mean that life could not have formed in that Mercury. Again, this is another planet that has a different atmosphere. Atmosphere or not, it has a different way of, going about its life. Who's to say that life did not build on that planet in the water? Just like with Io, just like Encephalus, just like, Venus and Mars. And there are so many planets that have a history of having water at some point, or have water now. Believe it's.
Did they find water on Mars again? I thought they did.
They found traces.
They found traces, but I believe they found higher concentrates of traces at the polar caps, which could suggest that there is water on the planet, but more likely underground.
Sorry, but I gotta read this. The moon is there so that nearly every night humanity is being mooned.
And I agree.
Bog said. It was entertaining.
I love Boggs. He's so funny. Every time he posts a status, I'm
great. Boggs is great.
How did grew into our planet? Yes, grew into our planet. Yes, we are the only species on Earth which has not truly adapted to the planet. We adapted to our environment to suit us, and that's correct. That's correct. We did. We grew into our planet because our planet was already very well into its life cycle before we came along and we started forming. But we, as we grew, learned to conform to our environment for what best suited us, and that's how we've grown since. Now, Lone Wolf says, imagine forms of life that can withstand the insane temperatures of Venus. It's not outside of the realm of possibility, especially in water.
Let me bring.
But I don't even know.
Let me bring that into like an Earth term. There are species, aquatic species, that can handle the intense pressure that at the bottom of the ocean. We can't handle that. We go down there, we get crushed like a freaking grape.
But
there are species down there that can handle that kind of pressure.
right. And the Boggs official said lone wolf, tardigrades. Yes. And this
Oh
is
my
important to
gosh.
mention. Tardigrades are fucking insane. They can be put out to space and not die. Like
Yeah.
we can throw them to space, put them in the but without any kind of support gear, anything to protect them, they will not die, and they will
Wait,
come
what are-
back to our planet and be just fine. They will hibernate for 200 plus years. They can survive any amount of cold, any amount of heat. So tardigrades could very well be prevalent on other planets.
They will be what teaches us about cyber.
I don't even know what the
cyber.
heck. I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
Tardigrades are basically water bears.
Yeah.
They're tiny. You can see them with a microscope better than you can with your plain eye.
Yeah, they're microscopic creatures, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they they're ugly fucks.
They are ugly. They look like
They've
little.
They've got a face only a mother could love.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna look up for you, Lone Wolf. I'm gonna look up tardigrades right now
They're not
and
that
send you
ugly.
a link. Here.
But yeah, tardigrades, or if you go with randos, there's a species of vampire that lives on Venus.
Venus a vampire.
Venus has vampires.
Oh, those things.
Yeah, but tardigrades are a thing that science cannot fully explain because they have survived. They've actually, they say they've probably been around on this planet longer than anything because they've been able to survive everything. They can survive intense thousands of degrees of heat. They can survive in the coldest, many thousands negative, below zero temperatures. They can survive.
We can put them
anything.
in nitrogen and freeze them and take them out, and they will
Be
thaw
fine.
out and be fine.
Yep, we can put them in the
we
vacuum
will-
of space and they're fine.
If we
Tardigrades are
figure
like
out how to
pet
freeze bodies and
cockroaches.
unfreeze them and so forth, like people believe sometimes that we can, it will be because of tardigrades.
Actually, I think they said tardigrades are probably going to be because it'd be the essential key into learning how to do a lot of what we can't do already for survival because they are so. There's just something I don't know. They've never really been able to explain
Them and
what
roaches.
causes them.
I don't
Yeah,
think these
roaches
things
too.
I don't think these things are ugly. I think these things are neat looking, to be honest.
Wait till they open their mouths.
They
Wait
look
till you
like
see
an
one
al-
of them.
it looks like an alien pig.
Yes, it does.
It does.
It does.
Wait, find a picture with its mouth open and tell me what you think.
I gotta see this now.
They kind of look like lampreys
Yeah.
with their mouths open.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I find lots of quote unquote ugly things that only a mother can love. I find them amusing and I find them very adorable. But
Oh,
You
so
know-
do you find me adorable? I got a face only a
I
mother could love.
gotta say this. I gotta say this. A tardigrade needs to become a Pokemon because that would be badass.
I think there is one based off a tardigrade.
But yeah, Matt. After listening to you for the last 2 days, I mean, what?
Okay, okay. I'll take that as a
That's
compliment.
you.
Did you watch the one with Midnight Researcher? I was on camera for most of it.
Yeah. Actually, I did. That was the one
Yeah.
I came over from.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Murder
no.
of
I got a
me.
face
Oh,
only a mother could love. It's okay. I'll admit it.
Matt, you're sexy. You're a sexy
You
beast.
you have a Herculean baby.
My God, he is. He's already doing pull-ups. He's not even 10
Yeah,
months old.
I know.
He'll be 10 months old tomorrow. That makes
Now-
no sense.
As for the walking,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
okay, I have 2 children.
Yep.
My youngest is 18 months younger than her older brother.
Yep.
He only started walking because mommy couldn't carry him anymore because, well, mommy was pregnant.
Yes.
And other than that, I think he would have been happy making mommy carry him everywhere.
That's what our son loves. He loves to be carried, but he can very much walk. The problem is he doesn't like to fall. He's a lot like his father. I don't like to fall. I think that fear got passed on to him because he's fallen a lot because he's been really advanced in his motor skills, and so he has fallen a lot. And he can walk away. He can take steps. but he doesn't want to fall. So like we'll put him in his playpen, right? He won't grab onto anything. He'll just stand there free standing and he'll take
Mhm.
2 steps, but then when he realizes he's not holding anything, he immediately tries to grab something, even though he can do it
Just
without.
have to make him understand that he's really much closer to the ground than you are.
Yes. Maybe
But,
maybe I just need to like throw myself to the ground one day multiple times and be like, "This is why you walk."
But what I was going with is my daughter walked at 8 months
Mhm.
because she was trying to keep up with her brother.
Yeah. And that
So-
happens.
Yeah, it does happen, and it's you see that a lot in siblings, but
Mhm.
you also see it in kids who apparently your son is one of them. Has very, very good motor skills and is very advanced with his learning and his movements.
He's
Now-
already climbing. He's already
I-
doing pull-ups. He's actually been pulling himself to his feet at 5.5 months. He
I'll
started
put it
taking
this
steps
way.
at 6.
How many babies have you seen turn over on the heating table after they're born?
My son did, but that's the only one.
My sister did.
Really?
Gave the nurses a heart attack, but yes, and she was a C-section, so that says even more because she was also taken a month before she was supposed to be born.
Wow. Wow, that's advanced. That is pretty advanced, I cannot deny.
So yeah, it. I wish she kept advancing like that. I mean, what?
My son's a bit of an anomaly because the day he was born, he was already lifting his own head up, and looking around, and he'd been doing that since day one. He was sleeping through the night since the beginning of his first month.
Brought my son home from the hospital,
Yeah.
and he was asleep in his car seat, obviously.
Oh wow.
And so I put him in the bassinet because he was
Mhm.
still sleeping. And I went and got all of our stuff from the hospital, unpacked and put away and so forth and everything. No, he's still asleep.
Wow.
So I went and did something else. He's
Mhm.
still asleep. My mom says, you should go take a nap. No, I'll be okay. He's still asleep. 7 hours later, Mama needs him to nurse. He's still asleep.
Damn.
Mama woke him up and got told off by Grandma for waking up the baby because you never wake up the baby.
What? That's not true.
And I'm like, but I'm hurting.
All right. It's time. I think you guys had more questions, right? We've been talking about like 2 subjects for like close to 25 minutes now. Holy shit.
I've heard you say how much you like the positivity and the support and love that we in the horror community have. A lot of the horror community are people like yourself who have mental issues or physical issues. So I'm wondering if you think, just on your opinion, do you think that that may have something to do with it, that we're finding our escape through horror, but we know that we're like others, so we know how to treat others?
What's your question?
Why do you think we're so positive?
Well, I think you already answered your own question in your statement. You already said it, and that's because we all suffer from similar things, and so we know how to make and how to help each other with our struggles. And I mean, you pretty much answered your own question, but if you really want me to expand, I will. We all, I think a lot of us suffer from different things like bipolar, from PTSD, from depression, anxiety. Oh, I forgot to mention I suffer from bipolar too, and that does not help. But
I'm sorry.
it's life. But I think a lot of us suffer from these different mental illnesses, and anxiety, depression, PTSD seem to be like the top 3 in the horror community, based on those who I have talked to and who I've gotten to know. there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that those seem to be like the top three that appear the most. I think because we all suffer with it, or at least something similar, we all figured out ways to help each other through these difficult times, because we all suffer from it anyway, and we know what would make us happy, so we try to project that onto others who are having trouble in their moments of their life. Like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I put out a tweet saying, I'm sorry, I'm such a disappointment, and I was feeling that way because I'd been in bed sick for 2 days. My bipolar was acting up, my depression was acting up, my anxiety was acting up. I had to cancel 4 episodes with, I know one of them's mother ended up in the hospital. I think that was Madam Raven, which, that can't be helped. I told her, just go be with her, because that's pretty important. I was supposed to have Mandy Mortem on Thursday. We're supposed to have Ceres death yesterday, Lucid Lupus yesterday, but I had to cancel all of them because I was so sick. I could barely talk.
Lupus.
And because of the cancellations last minute, I just felt like a failure. Felt like a disappointment. And then on top of this, people had reached out to me and were like, hey, I want you to do these lines for my videos. But I agreed, and then I just got sick and I couldn't do it. And the deadlines came down and I couldn't keep up with my word. Couldn't keep my word, and I felt like just such a disappointment. And then everybody and their mom reached out to me and was like, look, man, you're not a disappointment. You're fucking amazing. Look at everything you've done and the time you've done it. Look how much you have. Look at what you've done. Look at, all this other stuff. And I was like, that showed that the support in the community is strong, no matter what. And, it made my day better, but I was so sick that I didn't really reply to anyone because I was sleeping. I was sleeping most of the days.
I know that. Shut up, Dustin.
PA left you an entire paragraph.
Yep. I had
Don't.
2 or 3 people reach out to me personally besides PA, so that's 4 total, but I think it was 2 or 3 reach out to me personally and be like, look, man, you're not a disappointment. I don't know what's going on, but if you need someone, I'm here. And there's more behind the scenes than just me being sick that I don't want to talk about publicly, but a lot of it was because I couldn't keep my word.
Totally okay. Hello, Silver. Silver Threads has just joined us.
It's about time. Jeez, he's always late.
I haven't seen Raven today.
Neither have I haven't
seen Raven either.
I saw him.
He might still not. He might not be feeling well still. He did get the second COVID shot, and that put him on his ass. He said.
I know he was
second shot. I don't know.
Wait, was it 42?
I know he was alive this morning. I talked to him for a little bit, but I haven't seen him since. So.
Yeah, I know he was on Twitter, but I haven't seen him. I hope he was okay. I miss my bird.
I saw him post twice on Twitter, but I was involved with the Horror Honeys, so I was trying to deal with a heavy subject today.
Oh. What was that?
We did a Mother's Day show today.
Oh.
And the idea was to go back and forth between fictional mothers and real mothers. And we kind of started with, this mother is a real mother, and she inspired these mothers in fiction. And we ended up jumping from that to real mothers, to real mothers, to real mothers, to real mothers.
Oops.
And it just got heavier and heavier and heavier. And that's a very, very dark and heavy subject, guys. Frogs. Okay,
And frogs.
Silver. And frogs.
And frogs.
There are no frogs outside tonight yet.
Well, apparently Raven's pretty active. He commented on something like 20 minutes ago, and he posted a picture like 16 minutes ago, a link to a collaboration he did. But I don't know, I just kind of miss my burb.
Yeah, I miss the burb
The
too.
burb has been quiet.
But then again, I've been quiet. Hey, Fear. Fear the Great White. Dun-na, 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 dun-na.
My dude.
Hi, Silver. I'm sorry. I didn't
So-
say it yet, but hi.
So Matt, how did you come up with your channel name?
I mean, do I
He,
really have to answer that?
he
No,
did a
you.
poll on
It was more of
Discord and
a smart.
I did a poll on Discord and Twitter, and I was
Twitter,
like,
and
"Look, the channel name has to change because that's no longer focusing around interviews." So, here are the ideas that were given to me by others, and it was either to keep the name or change it to Matt's Chats, and Matt's Chats, yeah, and well, Matt's Chats won.
Well, I think it should be Matt's chat, because I never say the S or put the S in anything. So
If
I don't
if
know.
it
I think
worked, I
that would
would.
get. I think that would get.
I feel like that would be more like a blogging name.
Yeah,
Matt's
no.
Chat.
Okay, so I have to be careful saying Matt's Chats and not Mad Chatter
That name was actually given to me too.
or Mad Catter
Mad Chatter
because
was?
Mad
Yes, it was-
Catter and Mad Chatter are already on YouTube
It was
in the horror community.
there was a name given to me, Matters Chatters, and I was like,
Yeah,
That's way
I
too
was
close.
like,
that's mad chats.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good.
That's way too close.
I'm
It's-
good.
It's now Matt's Mad Chats.
Matt's Mad.
All things crazy wrapped into one conversation.
Yeah, man, I cover. Oh my god, I haven't even uploaded the Papa Scare episode yet. But if you're sensitive about hearing about drug use, then don't listen to it.
I usually listen to them anyway.
Okay, I'm just telling you right now because we went into like a full blown conversation about marijuana use for like 20 minutes.
Oh, is that it, Boggs?
Marijuana,
42.
I don't really consider that a drug.
Are you trying to get the letter S canceled?
No.
Cancel culture, cancel the letter S.
Let's not cancel the letter S because letter S is predominant in my real name.
Same.
No.
And that would be very difficult.
I know,
Matt's
I
Chats
know,
full of hats and hats.
we doing drugs? I know 242's real name. I don't know your guys' real name, PA. Well, me and I just met you today, so I mean, obviously I have no idea, but
Yeah, he doesn't even know my name.
Yeah, I don't know our name.
I see. I just ask. Like, I'm not afraid to
I
know.
am an enigma.
Wrapped in a mystery, wrapped in a riddle, covered by a puzzle. Yeah.
Well, actually,
I
I'm
would solve all
electron-
those things in a heartbeat.
I'm an electron,
An electron.
and
So you're-
I'm
So you're
just
easily charged.
I'm just floating around the universe, and I come together with other electrons on the internet to talk to you people because I like talking to humans.
That tells me that you're easily charged with electricity.
I told a friend, I've been saying that for years, just saying that, okay?
Okay.
and-
Okay.
I was going to meet some friends of mine before I moved to where I am now. Well, actually, yeah, whatever. But we were going to go to Myrtle Beach, which I understand was where you live.
It's pretty close. Yeah.
And we were meeting in Charlotte.
Okay.
And she says, are you sure that you'll be able to meet us there? I said, yeah, I should be able to. There's an ATM machine in the parking lot. And she thought about it for a minute. She says, but, oh, yeah, you got to put a body together. Gotcha.
That's funny. No.
I love
See-
Lady Black.
So Night Hunter said match chats. It's better to be straightforward. I like being on a first name basis with people because I think it adds a more human level to what I do. I will not mention your name publicly, but in private, I enjoy first names, not full names, just first names, because I think it adds a level of equivalence between you and the person you're talking to.
Well, Mina is my pseudonym
Mm-hmm.
as an author.
Oh, that's cool.
So, in very many ways, that is my first name. So,
Mia.
I
Okay.
adopted that as my pseudonym 2008, 2009, somewhere like that. I already had the characters Mia and Mina, so
Yeah.
it just I
Oh,
needed
that's awesome.
something, and that's where I went.
All right, next question.
What's your
Too many
favorite
people
animal?
knew my other one.
What was the question?
What's your favorite animal?
Ah, that's a good question, actually. A wolf. I think a wolf because of its tenacity, its ability to be kind, caring, or savage, depending. Its ability to be a leader of a pack. It's very much like me in a lot of ways. I think my spirit animal is probably a wolf.
I'm gonna kill her.
One of my favorite animals is also a wolf. My other favorite animal is an orca whale. I like orcas. I like the fact that they're pod animals, but I also like the fact that there's nothing in that ocean that they cannot take out through teamwork, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I was around 16. Yeah. I think I was 16. 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a spirit walk.
Oh, that's cool.
I have 3.
Huh?
A wolf, hawk, and an eagle.
That's terrifying.
But
You
aren't
know,
falcons
Isn't it?
ravens?
that's terrifying.
No,
You know, what I
falcons are
find-
not ravens.
What I find interesting, right, is when people think of an eagle, like a bald eagle, they think of this small little bird that they see flying around, hiding in the treetops. But when they land, those things are huge. Those things are like the size of wolves. People
Yeah.
underestimate how big a bald eagle actually is until they see one on the ground.
I lived
Oh, I mean,
in a town where they came every winter or every spring. They are
Ooh.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that.
Think about it like this: if a wolf and a bald eagle face off, the wolf runs because a bald
Mhm.
eagle is huge. A bald eagle, when it spreads its wings, it is the size of a wolf,
I
and
can't
that is
remember.
terrifying.
It's called a.
There is an eagle called a wedge-tailed eagle that is
Mhm.
large enough to carry off a young boy. And in
That is
fact, there
correct.
is actual documents of them doing so.
That is correct, and there's also hawks doing the same
Yes.
thing. Now, I'd like to expand on your question, if possible. If you had to choose a mythical or a creature of legend, an animal of legend, what would you be? I'll answer first. I would be a thunderbird.
I already knew that answer.
I would be a dragon.
That's not an animal.
You said mythological creature.
I
That is-
reverted back to animal because we had to keep it within realisticness.
But what is a dragon but an animal?
Is a flying, fire-breathing lizard. Therefore, it's still an animal.
It's a reptilian animal.
Do you want to see a scary eagle?
Yes, I love scary eagles.
I actually used this in my Ides of March story. Trying to get the picture that I want. Come on, load up.
My answer is a phoenix.
Oh,
Ooh, pretty.
Phoenix, yes. I would either be a Cerberus or a Minotaur. Ooh, those are good ones.
That is good ones.
Lone Wolf said, "I don't run from anything." You hear me? Yeah, until you.
Why
see
not a
bald
thundercat?
eagle.
Thundercat.
Because those things are small.
Thundercats. Oh!
These are small and it's only capable of so much. At least with a Thunderbird, I can fly. Oh yeah, those things are. I've seen those things. Not in person, but I've seen them on other things on other media.
Harpy. A
Harpy eagle. Yeah,
Oh, those are
harpy
so
eagle.
pretty.
Those things are huge. And actually, it's believed that harpy eagles often get confused with a lot of the mythological creatures and crypto creatures that people supposedly see because they look just so much like a human in a lot of ways, in the facial shape and their size. They
That's
could be
why I
easily.
picked that particular set of pictures, because you can see how big he is. And
Silver Thread's wife has a question.
why don't you call your channel Matthew's Chat Through?
Chat Hughes.
Chat juice.
Cat Hughes. Cat Hughes. I don't know. Because the one that's a mouthful. That's a fucking mouthful, and I don't think anybody would be able to really, pronounce that too well. And I think if I had to type that out to somebody, they'd take one look at the name and be like, "No,
No, I'm good. See you later. Bye,
not
buddy.
good." Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a guest on your podcast. I have a bad feeling, you know what I mean? But
Your name scares me.
But fine, Matt. If you don't
Yeah.
like dragon, I'll just become a Hydra.
that's a good one. I like hydras.
My husband would be a Minotaur.
Would he be a mini minotaur?
Well, see, when we were on the radio station, that was kind of the running joke, is he was a Minotaur, because I was Mina. Minotaur.
The
But,
bog is official. Yeah. Sorry.
I can't be a dragon.
Dragon.
So,
I mean, you
unicorn.
can be a dragon. I was just messing around.
Yeah.
Think
It's
of
either
that
a
meme.
dragon or a unicorn.
What's that, man?
Oh, I wasn't being serious earlier. I was joking around.
I know you.
I'm not a
I
serious
knew
person.
you were, but I was trying to find another mythological creature that was close to a dragon, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a thing called a Hydra that has multiple heads, and every time you cut one off, and another two heads grow in its place. I'm like, that's a pretty good creature. I'm gonna also choose this one.
Now,
Technically, the Hydra was a dragon.
it is a type of dragon. It's a sea dragon. Now, the bog says there are many animals people fear enough to normally run from, which you're actually better off facing off with. That is true. As a former hunter and a survivalist, there are many animals that you are better off just trying to scare off with your might than running. Bears, for example, are big fucking scaredy cats.
Is it brown you run, black you lay down,
You don't.
and
You,
white
you don't want.
you just
You don't.
pray that they don't kill pray that they kill you fast?
It,
Yeah.
Actually, if you stand up to a bear and you growl and you do your best to seem threatening, they often do run off. Bears are big scaredy cats, but if it's a bear that seems enraged, or a bear that you're too close to its cub, yeah, you're better off laying down and pretending you're dead. Don't run from a bear. Never run from a bear, because a bear can run 30 miles per hour at its max speed. They'll catch you, and they will kill you at that point.
I'm just telling you what they tell people when they go to Alaska.
Yeah, but that's an Alaskan bear. They're a different breed. They're a much bigger and scarier breed. Funny
Yeah, they're
enough,
not like the ones we
coyotes-
have at Grandfather Mountain.
Yes. Wolves and coyotes, for example, seem very scary, but if you bang a pot and a stick together, they're gonna run. They don't like loud noise. Or if you
Coyotes.
growl and yell, they run.
Actually, if you show dominance, at least for wolves. I don't know about coyotes. I've never had to deal with coyotes. But if you show a dominant stance, a wolf will recognize that.
You definitely do not, for any circumstances ever, want to go, hey, you know what's a good idea? I'm going to turn my back on this wolf and run.
Yeah, never run from a wolf. That's a really
Never
bad
run
idea.
from anything immortal.
You want
only
you
attracts
want to
their
get out of
attention.
there alive? You maintain eye contact with that wolf and you slowly back the hell away. You just do not take eye contact, because the second you break eye contact, it knows it's got the dominant
The dominant position.
and you're done.
it also knows you're scared.
That takes well, that's not a creature, so never mind.
I think
Never turn your Well, the other lone wolf is never run from anything immortal. It only attracts their attention.
True. That's true.
And if
That's why
anybody
if I
can
ever-
tell me where that quote is from,
I can't.
I will give you a huge round of applause.
You know, I can't tell you where that line's from, but I can tell you, a good rule of thumb when it comes to dragons: never meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and taste good with ketchup.
Never meddle with in the affairs of Dragon Swain.
Is it the last
And
unicorn
I
book?
can't. Yes, it is. See, I gave you a round of applause. I can't say the rest of that on YouTube. Damn it, PA.
What's the next question, guys?
I'm not sorry.
I know you're not,
I'm not sorry.
because you don't want me talking about loincloths on
I'm
the
just
air.
gonna do this because he only has one. What's your favorite narration you have on your channel currently?
Yeah.
What's your favorite interview? Which one did
I
you
think-
find the most difficult?
Okay, I'll answer both of those. One, PA, you just want praise from me for your story. I know what's going on, but I really did enjoy your story, and yes, it is my favorite narration on my channel because it's the only one, and I have no other choices. But I did like it. I chose that as my first narration for a reason. That's because it's a really good story. Even though I gotta point out this incorrection publicly to your face. You said in the story that inside the cave is a lake, and then later on you said it was a pond, and then you went back to lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's something my editor's supposed to catch for me, and she didn't.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, I was
Editor.
busy. I'm just kidding. It wasn't me.
No. 42. You and I aren't his editor, so we're out of this.
I've edited. I've edited a few.
42 has taken the mantle of one of my editors because she has helped me out on several occasions.
But I didn't edit that one, so it wasn't me.
Wasn't me either.
Well, I will say though, I do appreciate everyone's help on, helping with my stories because honestly, my grammar and punctuation are not the best.
And spelling.
Take that lake, pond, lake, man.
But because I have my sister, I have 42, and a few other people who have helped me edit my stories. Like they've assisted me greatly in bringing my ideas to life, and that means a lot.
Now to answer the second question. Oh, I'm sorry. Raven messaged me. I miss him.
Yeah, I DM'd Raven and asked him how he was doing.
The hardest interview I've done, I've only done a few of these, but I think the hardest one for me in terms of the rule set I was given was the grave matters. And I'm trying to figure out what points I want to mention because there are a few, but I don't want to be that negative guy because I really enjoyed doing it. The only piece I didn't enjoy, which I had made very clear, is I didn't like being interrupted in the middle of my answers. To shout out the chat, which I understand is their shtick, and I'm not gonna complain about that. It did suck because I lost my train of thought a lot, but at the same time, I also understand that that's their structure. So, I did tell. Creepy though, because she deserves to know that it can be kind of upsetting. But that's not really the reason why it was that hard. The reason why it was hard and my most challenging is because I was given a rule set, which I broke all of them by accident. No drugs, no sex, no religion. And if you guys listen to that Grave Matters interview, I broke all of them.
He had drugs,
every
sex,
single one.
rocks and roll, and religion.
Yes. Yep. I broke all of them, all of their rules, which probably banned me for life. And that's okay.
You're still on this part. I mean, it's close.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually one of the managers of the channel now because I'm starting my own show on Nevermore.
See, you didn't mess up that bad. You're fine.
There's Raven.
No. I think I just messed up in Grave Matters a lot because I broke their the three main rules, and sex, drugs, and religion. So now I'm much more tame on these because these seem to be a very common rule set. Whereas my podcast, there are no rules. We talk about whatever we want to talk about, and that's what I'm used to. Because a lot of our audiences are similar, and those ages that are common. Let me see. The ages that watch all of these are 25 to 35 years old. And if you can't talk about sex, drugs, and religion publicly, especially in the way where I wasn't trying to be dismissive or rude about it, I think it's a little ridiculous in a lot of ways because adults watch these, not kids. A lot of the, like when I check my statistics, 25 to 35 is the most viewed age, which I'm sure is probably similar to most people's here because a lot of our audience are people we know who are well above those ages, well in that age range.
Okay,
I could be wrong for some, but I understand the rules. I just didn't mean to break them. But that's why it was hard, because the rules were hard for me to follow because it was funny. I was just trying to be funny at that time.
I will let you know that while there's some secret folder somewhere in the Google office under YouTube where they keep the true statistics, but they will never show you to have anyone under the age of 13, even if they know you have people under the age of 13 watching.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the YouTube gods and the algorithm, there are certain conversational pieces that they don't like us to bring up.
Yes.
And religion and politics are two of them. That's why most podcasts or shows like this have that rule, just so the YouTube gods will not shun us.
I was told this after the fact. Whereas I, on my show, avoid politics because politics is always a really rough subject. Whereas I fall in the middle of it because I think both sides have good and bad points. I avoid politics. When it comes to religion, I make sure to never be dismissive because I think everyone has their own personal beliefs. When it comes to drugs, I have fully admitted many times that I smoked a lot of marijuana in my time. But marijuana is also becoming one of those quote-unquote drugs that's becoming legal in most places. So for it to be not allowed to be mentioned,
I was about to say
not here.
That for the most part, marijuana has become cigarettes.
Yeah, pretty much. Agree. It's become the next tobacco.
Yeah.
But if someone wants to mention that they use something harder on my show, that's fine. But a lot of others don't enjoy that. When it comes to sex, well, I mean, come on, that's just a part of life. The British have been showing sex to children on TV for fucking decades now, and they're not screwed up. America's just we don't like. The problem with America is a lot of us are overly religious to the point where we don't want to see stuff like that on TV because we think it's going to ruin the minds of children and whatnot. But the reality is that it's been shown it really does not have an effect. It's actually only really had positive effects. But I also know that YouTube gods don't like that stuff being talked about.
So I want to read this, Matt, because I think you get a chuckle out of it. Silver Threads goes, "It's okay, Matt. I was on the show before it was called Gray Matters. At that point, it was called Tomb Talk. I was told to create a soundbite for the show. I'm terrible at improvisation, so all I said was, 'This show is good.' The point being, I messed up publicly too. I get it, bro."
Yeah,
Silver
I messed
said
up
that,
hard. When I said I want to come back on, they're like, "Yeah, we'll have you on at some point." I know I'm co-hosting next week for Steve Stockton because he's one of my favorite authors and YouTubers, and I've been a fan of his for many years. But I think as the interviewee, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because I really don't think CCG and Filia appreciated me breaking all their rules in one sitting, back to back.
Steve, but I just want to say, Steve Stockton
is great.
amazing. I love that guy.
He
I read all the
actually
books.
interviewed me for my first interview,
Really?
and I was like, "Why do you want to interview me?" I literally asked him that, and he's like, "Because you're interesting." I'm not interesting. And he says, "Well, that's not what I've read." And I'm like, well, "Who have you been reading?" He said, "You." And I said, "What?" And he says, "I found your blog page." I said,
Oh,
"Oh, shit."
I hope someday Steve Stockton reaches out to me and will interview me. I think it'd be awesome. I read all his books. I've been so into all his YouTube channels and all of his stuff really. And I
He's
hope
a
that
great
at some
guy.
point,
me,
hope that at
me and
some
Steve are
point
pretty.
he'll reach out and be like, "Yo, I want to interview you. You're interesting. You seem like."
Yeah, so Steve's a good guy. Me and him are pretty good friends. He's actually, when I first started, he shouted me out on his his YouTube channel and on like a page that he has like a crap ton of people following him. So I was like, "You're awesome. I appreciate that." Steve, man, that man will never pass up an opportunity to help someone out.
Yeah, he's really good. He's 13
was-
past midnight.
I know.
So I
know.
gotta know.
He's also got another YouTube channel which he uploads a lot
Yeah.
of 411 mysteries on, and he's also written I think 3 or 4 books. I've read them all at this point.
I think it's 4. I
it's
know he
4.
was working on another one.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
just
we do.
released.
Yeah, he just dropped a new one.
Yeah. No, I love Steve Stockton. He's amazing. I love his voice. I love the work he's done
See-
and the research he's done.
I told him, and I meant this as a compliment, because his voice reminds me of that grandfather voice that tells you stories, about when he was a kid and he did this and that and whatever, and to teach you a lesson that you need to learn for life and things like that. And yeah,
So, unfortunately, we're at about the end of the show. So, if Matt has any last thoughts or anything he wants to ask us or the chat or say, just go ahead, do it now.
Well, my first question for you is: were there any other questions you really wanted to touch on? It could be anything. I'll answer it real quick for you.
I don't think I have anything right now. Mia, do you got anything?
mm,
I'm an open book, as open as you will allow me to be on the show.
no, not that I can think of. 42.
I'm trying to think of something. I had something now it just left.
Silver asks, when's your birthday?
November 19th, 1995.
Oh,
Your baby.
Matt,
Oh, you're such
is
a
there
baby.
anybody you want to interview that you haven't, that you're is like a dream interview for you?
I've answered this a few times, but the answer keeps changing as I get further into this. But there's a couple names that always stay at the top: Corpse Husband, Raven Reeds, definitely Raven Reeds. God, I would do anything to have her on my show. I would eat 3 Klondike bars at once. I would do things that I'm not legally allowed to mention on this show just to have her on my show once.
Maybe I'll have
Um,
to have a talk with her. I mean, what?
Ooh. Now, let's see. Lazy Masquerade would be a great
That
one.
would be a good one.
Yeah.
Man, I got so many. And this is just a horror community. I haven't even gone into the gaming community. I haven't gone into other communities that I really want to tap into as well. But those are the top 3 that I can really think of at this moment. I think Raven Reeds is probably the one that comes to mind the most because I love her work. I love her voice. I listen to her actually not 100% every single night. During the day, I listen to people like Mortis Media. I listen to, Mr. Creepypasta. I listen to Lazy Masquerade. But at night, when I'm trying to sleep and I already have insomnia and I have a PTSD and those things strike me at night, especially, listening to her narrations help me sleep. So I listen to her every single night. Dead
That's
ass.
awesome, dude.
She does have the soothing effect that will put you to sleep.
I did have a question that I forgot to ask. Because you
Yeah.
said you were really into like huge into space. Like, what got you like so fascinated with space?
In a lot of ways, it's the possibilities of what could be out there that we haven't discovered yet. And then growing up with people like, Carl Sagan wasn't as prevalent in my early childhood because I think he had passed away pretty early on in my life. But you had people like, I can't remember his name right now. He's a pretty big black guy. He's funny as hell. Big science guy. Come on, what's the name? He's had his own show on Discovery too. Like I cannot remember his name at the moment. Um, Neil maybe? No. Anyway,
Oh, Patrick Harris.
no, not Neil Patrick Harris. That's an actor. Um,
Neil
Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's it. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I just literally typed in Big Black Science Guy on Discovery. Like I just typed in all the information you gave me, and that was what popped up.
Yeah, no, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Growing up and watching him explain the sciences behind the universe and space just always fascinated me. And then growing up, a lot of the books I read were based on solar, on space and our galaxies, and and it just always fascinated me above all else. And growing up, it's just what I researched a lot in. If I was better at math, I would definitely have gone into more space sciences than business. But I suck at math. You give me a division question, and you might as well just take the work and throw it out the window because it just doesn't stick. Like high school division is lost on me. I have an idea.
Sorry.
I could probably figure it out, but I'm not very good at it. Like my dreams of working for NASA will never happen because I am an idiot in those terms. Okay. But
I will bite my tongue.
oh geez, that easy to get in there?
I will bite my tongue.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I have an engineering degree with a specialization in computers.
Yeah, so you're a fucking math genius. I am an idiot, and this must.
I was one class away from having a dual major in math.
Wow.
Made one.
Matthew,
like,
if you like
nope.
space, get Galactic Craft for Minecraft.
I was like, I'm
But,
done with math. I don't want to
but,
take another math class.
Hey, Lone Wolf, add me on Discord. Just real quick.
I'm curious if 42 has thought of her question yet.
No, it doesn't matter. It's all good.
Okay.
Cool.
I have to leave off with something. I gotta say, I've done a lot of these interviews now. And this isn't a knock on you guys. In fact, it's probably a knock on others. Not Great Matters and not Traveler's Tales, but I don't know. Someone who has a podcast. You guys all know me by now, right? Is that an agreement? Except for Mia, she probably has seen me, but 242 in PA, you guys have probably been to every one of my live streams, my channel, my videos, and I think in a lot of ways, I wish people got questioned me on deeper topics, because I think in a lot of ways, this is great for getting to know somebody on a surface level, but when you have someone as open as I am, it's a good idea to ask these deeper questions. Like, what do you do in your spare time? Do you play games? All right, what games? Stuff like that. But I do enjoy doing these, and I really hope that I'm back on Traveler's Tavern because this was fun. Matt, what is the meaning of life? Oh, you asked me at the wrong time, my friend. 42.
Yes. Hi.
The meaning of life.
It's 42.
It's 42. I'm the meaning of life. That's it. We're good. Make me happy. You're good. There we go.
Nice to meet you, Night Hunter.
Take
Nice
care,
to meet
Night
you, my
Hunter.
friend. Okay. Wow,
Really
Silver Threats
okay
comes in
to
at the
steal.
very end. Comes in at the very end. All right, the meaning of life is to do whatever makes you happy, regardless of what others think. And find good supports in what you do. That is the true meaning of life, is to always be happy. Even if you're unhappy, try to find that happiness somewhere. That's the true meaning of life, and live it. Morally okay to steal food to feed your family? Yes, depending on the circumstances you're in. I think if stealing that piece of bread, from the, market or whatever, if that's the difference between you and your family going hungry for another week or being able to survive for another week, I think it's morally okay. Anyone have anything else?
Hi,
We on
Dice
Travis
Rollin',
Tavern.
and sorry that you got here so late.
Yeah.
We on Travis Tavern do not condone law breaking of any kind in any shape or form.
But if you gotta feed your family, do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta
Unless
feed your
you're in
family.
an Arab
We're not
country.
telling you to break the law. We are just saying you do you.
Unless
your
you're in a
family.
country that is going to cut your hand off for stealing food.
Yeah.
Even there, if you can get away with it, do it.
Yeah, you can get away with it.
All right, I'm gonna put this out one more time. Does anyone have any other questions for me before we start wrapping up here? I'm gonna give.
So you said you are available for
What?
voices, right?
I am.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, please do.
Put you on my
And
list.
I'm also like a lot. No one's asked me this, but I'm also a writer, and I've been writing books since I was in high school. I've written 3 novels, though I've never published them. Actually, I burned them all, but I have written 3 novels, all in
Yeah,
the
that was-
horror, all in the
that
horror
was on my
genre.
list. Sorry, dude. That
Oh, no,
was
go
on my
ahead.
list of questions to ask, but then we got on that really interesting conversation about outer space, and I was enjoying that so much that it kind of like,
Yeah.
it slipped my mind.
Yeah, no, I've been writing for years now. It's something I always escaped to when I wasn't playing video games or I was being bullied in high school. In school, actually, can't even say high school. I was bullied like all through school, from elementary through to graduation. And writing and video games and YouTube were my escapes. But if anyone ever needs help with writing something, with a story
Okay.
concept, or even if you want to just dual write a story with me, I'm down. I've helped, I think, 13 different people write their own stories. I've RP'd with people so they could get a better idea of their story. In fact, there's somebody I want to mention. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he reached out to me when I joined a writing Discord, and he's like, "Look, I have this really interesting story, and I want your take on it. Will you RP with me, and help me build this story? I'll write it, but I just want you to build this story." And I was like, "Okay." So essentially, the story was these 2 friends in college share a dorm. One day, one of them is gone, and the other one comes home, and he'd always noticed that his roommate, was always sitting at his desk tinkering with something that he could never see. Turns out it was this little city filled with miniature people, and so like they end up going into this whole adventure or whatever. And it ended up being more like RP sessions than actual writing for him, and we stopped talking since then. But it was an interesting story. But he reached out to me with the basic idea, and I helped him build it. And I really hope he did something with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dice Rollin' asks if you could go up against, in a fight, hand to hand, any horror movie icon, who would it be?
Fuck. God damn, that's a really hard one. I'm sorry for the swears. That just kind of slipped. I'm really sorry, guys. Please don't ban me from your show.
You're good, dude.
You're good.
You are good.
You're good. Band started out with the F word on ours.
Oh, I've already said that 3 times during this.
Yeah.
2 minutes in.
Oh, okay. Well, it'd have to be someone I could realistically win, so like Michael and Jason and Freddy are out of that equation immediately. Anyone with supernatural powers is out of that equation, because that would not be a fair fight. If I go hand to hand with any horror icon, I'd say Jason's mother from the very original Friday the 13th because she is absolutely human, and I think if that old bitch and I got into a fight, well, she would not survive.
Be safe, Lone Wolf. And you're probably right.
Good day,
Matter of
Lone
fact,
Wolf.
she was on our list for mothers today that we didn't get to.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I have done many multiple martial arts. Never gotten a black belt. I never really stuck with them that far because I kept on moving from place to place. But I've done taekwondo, I've done karate, I've done wrestling, I've done jujitsu, I've done boxing. Um,
Silver
I
says
should say
Chucky.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Should say Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I have like real martial arts experience, and I think if that old bitch and she came at me with an axe, dude, no, she would not survive that night. There would have been no murders. Would have been no murders.
The first movie would never have happened.
Yes, it would have been over before it started.
Silver says Chucky, and Dice Woman says I'd probably pick Chucky or Leprechaun. My problem with Leprechaun is technically supernatural.
Yes, he is.
And
He has the transportation ability. The teleportation ability has the ability to. God, he has so many weird abilities.
yes, he does.
Like, did you see him get shot up in the one in the
Yes.
hood? Was it Leprechaun in the Hood? Yeah, that's the movie. Yeah,
I
he gets
will
shot.
not watch those anymore.
Yeah, he got shot up by Mac 10s and he survived. Come on, bro. Come on. Chucky's trying to shove him in a closet. No, he breaks the wall. They've already tried that in one of the movies.
Yeah, they tried it because they tried to do a Mike Myers.
Yeah. He just breaks through the wall and the door. I mean, it's not gonna stop him.
Norman Bates, I feel kind of bad. I would kick his ass.
Oh man, Norman Bates is a little bitch.
I don't
He had
know.
to jump somebody in the shower. He jumped somebody in the shower, bro.
Technically, that was his
Unfortunately,
mom.
we gotta call this.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
All right, I'll do my ending statement. You know, everyone, I love doing this. I love going on these and just being myself for a little bit, not in control of my own show. But let's thank PA and 242 and me and Mina and anyone else who does Traveler's Tavern, the Gray Matters, because it takes time to set this stuff up. It takes a lot of energy, especially when you have social anxiety. And just remember, a lot of people have it. They may not show it, they may hide it really well like I do. Like, just doing these is very taxing. I will probably go lay down after this because it's so taxing, but I love doing it for you guys, for them, for myself. But just remember to love everyone, even if you disagree with them, even if they did something to make you hate them. In a way, still love them because they probably have their own stuff going on. And just remember, guys, you are loved and you are validated always. Good night.
Be safe, everyone.
I love you guys.
Once you join the collective, you can leave nevermore.